Okay, so we can say set up wide, just basically by the sort of where your cap is pointing now. You can sort of see how your head now is straighter, and it's things that you could never even think about. To be fair, where's my head pointing? Okay, just sort of you just sort of stand there. People sort of look at where your feet point, maybe where your spine is and your hands, but little tiny subtle adjustments where your head is pointing, as we said. If the peak of your cap is kind of in that direction, not straight down, your shoulders now have to work in such a way to rotate back. It's very hard to rotate naturally. Your head go over there. You can't get your own way, so you've got to then try to go with that angle. So what we'll see now on the left hand side as you go back, the legs are sliding. So if you look at the golf clubs in the back there behind the wall there, your right hip now and the right knee going towards that left hand club then. That last is sort of popping out sideways, and your backswing now, you actually make quite a big backswing. Now the good thing about this is, okay, when you see this on the right hand side, you actually overswing, because by sliding your hips it makes it very restrictive, and you shouldn't be able to turn back very far. Okay, but you actually get back a long way. So what you'll see now with your head being straighter, as you start going back, you can see your right leg now on that sort of white club, the white shafted club behind you, the right knee now and the right hip kind of staying on that club. The right hip's disappeared behind you. So that there would be great. But because you're used to having sort of restriction in your lower half, and to sort of fight that, you just keep going. So if we could just limit to how far you go back, that there would be great. It's a full 90-degree shoulder turn. Your head staying nice and sort of neutral, just sort of just turned it obviously a little bit this way, it will do. Your right knee now in terms of position there is sort of inside your right foot, so that's great. Whereas that one there we can see is obviously going into that green line, so you slid that one. So that would be great. Now to swing back shorter is tough, and what would to suggest really when you swing back is restricting how much the lower half moves, but how it moves is the important thing. So what we're going to try and do now, where you're swinging, and before you just sort of just slid, partly because your head and where the arms are going, you just went back as far as you could. What we're going to try and do now is feel by how much that hip's going to rotate. Okay, it wants to rotate, but just not rotate too much. So what then you'll do, you'll still feel 100% in terms of how far it can go back, it's not going back so far. What you're doing now to try and turn this out the way, which is fine, you're just going too far. And now when you allow that hip to rotate, suddenly now your shoulders are like, hang on a second, whoa, loads of space, and the club is going to be a bit too long. Which is why a couple of your shots are a little bit off direction, because obviously the club's travelling a bit further. You're not quite really aware. You're feeling the club is there, when in reality it's sort of down low with your head down there. So the club now is in a different position relative to you. In terms of the move, it's a much better rotation. That's sort of like restricted quite a tilt. Your spine angle there is pretty straight up, which is great. Okay, so the better position, it's gone a little bit too far, but that's the practice-wise where you just sort of you learn to feel, okay, how far does that feel? That looks much better than that one there. Okay, so from there as you come back to the golf ball now, as we come back in, club can now bottom out at the golf ball. Lovely strike. Arms can sort of just release through. Club can fold it there nicely. Good position. Okay. Some of the reasons why they were going left though, when you swing steep and you come down a little bit steep, hitting the ground's not a problem. What you will find is your club will come into the ground, what we call a little bit toe down. It's going to come down a bit steep this way, hit the club like so. So what happens? The club sort of sticks in the ground with a toe, so the end of the golf club here gets some resistance with the ground, stops, the heel part of the club near the shaft keeps going. Because it's got no ground contact, so the club's going to stick in and go doot and then open up this way, which sends it out to the right. Now your so as a result of that, you have to try and fight that by trying to square the club face up more than you need to. Now the club's coming around here a bit more and coming in here, it's coming in a bit flatter, so therefore the club now is not having that stick in the ground, so when you release your hands too much, you get a couple of pulley ones. Okay, but that's just a question, I think, from your point of view in terms of the practice, finding how far back you've got to go. So you're turning your hips, but just resisting how far they go. Yes, this is a better move than that, but you can do it too much. So there's obviously a right amount and a right movement. You just got to try and learn how much. I think when you first make a move, as we said, by going back too far, it's understandable because you're trying to make the move. That there would be about enough movement there. Your arms sort of continue on and go that way, but at least at this position now you look a lot more stable in the base. You've got a chance of swinging that golf club, and the strikes on the mat were a lot more cleaner and crisper strikes rather than sort of thumps into the ground as you had before. Yes, I'll be honest, there'll be a couple of top shots in there, because obviously instinctively you have to try and miss the ground in the pass by coming down to steep. As a result of that, that's going to still be kind of slightly ingrained in you to try and just miss the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you learn that you haven't got to do that, you could just sort of set the golf ball. Okay, there's the golf ball, there's the club. I'm going to rotate, come back to the same sort of spot, and I have to try and compensate at 80 mile an hour in less than 2 seconds. So it gives you more consistency. Okay. You can see by how much further you've gone back there. The club now is a lot lower. Your left arm being here, the club now just above your head rather than being way up there. You see, there's a flatter swing, which is fine. That's what we're trying to create, a bit more of a round the golf swing sort of movement. Make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant,
Good stuff, mate.